Welcome back, everybody. I know you guys have been watching a couple of teasers of the new speaker that I'm going to be soon unveiling on the channel. You do not want to miss that. Today, I want to talk about some of the early pain points that I'm going through with this new speaker. Okay, so this will give you a lot of food for thought going forward in your particular journey. Let's get started. Okay, guys, before I get started, you know the drill. Subscribe, hit that like button, continue to support me. We got to keep the channel growing, and I cannot do this without your support. I'm very vocal about that. It is important that you guys subscribe. Please subscribe. Let's get the subscriber count higher. The more subscribers, the more pressure you all put on me, because now I have more weight on my shoulders to deliver better content for you all, okay? Subscribe, please. Anyway. Over the last 3-4 days, I've been playing with the new speaker. Okay, this speaker is approximately the same, more or less the same MSRP as my Maestro Evos. Very well-known brand, I must say. And I have been reading the comments section on the videos that I have released so far. There is a mixed bag of opinions. Some of you guys like what you hear. Some of you guys do not care for the sound. I understand that, because I cannot please everybody. That is clear, okay? I'm never going to please all of you guys, okay? The guys who complain all the time are going to be happy with something else. And when I bring that something else, then the other side of the room is going to be angry and upset because they may not like the sound. So please, going forward, understand that, okay? I can't please everybody, okay? Now, some of the early pain points that I've had with this speaker, okay? I have the room set up right now optimized for my Maestros behind me. The room, the placement, whatever you want to call it. Plus, I'm using isoacoustic footers on this speaker, which I am a dealer for. If you're interested in isoacoustic footers or isolation devices, just send me an email, okay? And I will go ahead and take care of you. I am using isoacoustics because Focal sounds really good with isoacoustics, okay? Now, this new speaker also comes with spikes, and I have not spiked the speaker. So remember, you're passing judgment on a speaker that is not properly set up yet. I still need to play with different cables and different electronics. I want you guys to keep in mind one thing. Part of the reason why I offer a consultation service is because of the level of exposure that I have here. All the different available options to me. I have Constellation in the room. I have 2 sets of speakers. I have an MSB DAC. I have 2 music servers. I have 3 preamplifiers. I have like 5 different power core brands. I am doing things here so that you guys don't have to do them at home and spend the money. This is why I urge you guys, if you're still trying to figure out which direction to go, it is important to talk to someone who's doing it right now so that you don't have to do it, okay? There's going to be a lot of opinions about different speakers, different cables, different amplifiers, and you're going to read so much information on the forums. Most of it is not even qualified. Why don't you talk to the dude that has it right now in his home that can give you his feedback? Because he owns both, so he doesn't care which one he chooses because he owns both at the end of the day, so he's not biased. Talk to the dude that has it right now. Don't talk to the dudes that type on the forums. Talk to the guy who can give you feedback because he has proof he's owned it. He has pictures on his channel. He can literally go and completely articulate his experience of living with a product. Every product that I have here, I have been living with for a few months, okay? I don't get rid of things right away. I do not. The second set of speakers will be here for at least 2 months, or maybe the Focals will leave soon. I do not know. My early pain points with the speaker are as follows. Number 1, I try to utilize the same spot, which I have marked on the floor, as you can see right now, where my vocals actually sing quite well. And it turns out that the speaker doesn't seem to really like that spot. It seems that the speaker doesn't really soundstage, doesn't really throw a huge image in that particular spot as my vocal maestros do. So that's telling me that I need to figure out if I gotta go farther apart between the speakers or if I gotta bring the speakers even farther away from me. Okay, that's what I am in the process of doing. But this speaker is quite heavy. So I am very careful with it because it is on wheels and I don't want to tip over the speaker. I don't want to, let that speaker land on me, allow for that disaster, for that accident to occur. So I have to be very strategic when I do this. I have been spending about 2 days trying to move the speaker out, toe them in, a couple of inches back, inches forward. I'm trying to evaluate as many different options as possible in order to see if I can capture a bigger soundstage or a soundstage of the magnitude of my vocal maestros behind me. Right now, I think I got a pretty good understanding of where they're going to end up. But of course, once I spike them, that may change other aspects of the presentation, because once I do that, the speaker is going to lower itself more, right? It's going to couple itself to the pavement, to the concrete. And now the tweeter is going to be lower and the mid-range is going to be lower and so forth. So I want to see what happens to the tonality of the speaker once I do that. Another pain point that I'm going through right now is the fact that I suspect, this is a preliminary feeling, this is not written in stone, I suspect that this new speaker may not be 100% compatible with my Boulder setup. Yes, you heard it. My initial evaluation is telling me that either there is way too much resolution, way too much bass, and not enough emotion, not enough soul, okay? But to be fair, I still have to try different cables with the Boulder setup in this speaker. Okay, this is why I keep several pieces at my disposal at all times so that I can mix and match and begin to tune the speaker. Guys, it should be no secret by now that when you bring a new speaker, oftentimes your electronics may not work anymore. Okay, it may not be perfectly suited for this speaker's tonality. The presentation of the speaker may not sound good to you because you may be using cables that were, in this case, perfect for this speaker. I was using the right combination of cables, the right combination of electronics. Boulder loves vocal. You guys should know that. Boulder and vocal have tremendous synergy. With this speaker, what is happening is the fact that it is so revealing and Boulder is so revealing that I feel they're having a contest to figure out who is really going to reveal who. Does that make sense? It is a little too much at times for my own liking. So what I have to do is dig out my other music server, my other cables, different Ethernet cables, different power cords, or do what I have been doing over the last 30 minutes, which is to play with my Constellation electronics and this new speaker. So far, guys, I am loving what I'm hearing. I'm loving the presentation of the Constellation and this new speaker. Guys, again, I've said it. Constellation gear, Constellation electronics have my number. I love the way they sound. I've always been very vocal about it, okay? In addition to that, I am also trying to figure out if the speakers are indeed suited for my needs in my room. So far, I am getting a feeling that this is probably the best and the deepest bass. Yes, the deepest bass I have ever had in my room. It is incredible. I've been listening to music for the last 4 hours. It is 1 a.m. right now, 1 o'clock in the morning when I'm filming this. I just got done listening, and no question about it, this speaker, in my opinion, has by far the best bass I have ever had in my room. The problem is when I put the Boulder 3060 behind it, the bass is so pronounced, it is so deep that I feel as if my chair vibrates at all time. You hear this thump in the background. It's incredible. But I think it's starting to wear on me. I think I'm starting to feel as if I want to dial back the bass. Can you believe that? I've never had to say that. This speaker has more bass than any other speaker I've had in the room. Any other speaker, regardless of price, regardless of brand, okay? The deepest bass I've had here. But now I'm actually struggling to try to tilt it back a little bit. Transparent cables, my Opus transparent speaker cables, are actually providing me with too much bass in the room with this speaker and the Boulder. So I'm using the Griffin Vanta series that you are seeing on your screen with this new speaker, and I'm starting to like what I'm hearing. This is a perfect example of why you need to be careful when you're moving up the ladder, when you're changing electronics, when you're making changes. This level of confusion, frustration, because I've been frustrated, I'm going to be vocal about that. I've been very frustrated over the last 2-3 days, is what happens when you buy a new component. My entire rig, as OCD Mike calls it, my entire system has been completely optimized for the Focal Maestro Evos, which are phenomenal speakers. The presentation is mind-boggling. Okay, so now what I'm trying to do is bring a second speaker to see if a different speaker can actually top the Maestro and what I have built around the Maestro. The issue with that is that you have to remember you can't just remove the Maestro and put the new speaker in place and that's it. It does not work that way. You now have to change other electronics around the new speaker and then see if you can achieve a superior presentation to the speaker that you have already optimized. So I warn you, I am giving you a warning. When you're changing speakers, you got to remember, you will probably need to change something else. And you may hate it and you might be upset, but Jay is warning you right now that if you buy a new set of speakers and you think all you got to do is replace them, everything else will play nice, 99% of the times, that is not going to be the case. 1% of the time, you might get lucky because maybe you just upgraded speakers within the same speaker line, and that's it. So in that case, it's a shoo-in. But when you change to a different brand with a different tweeter or topology or design or whatever you want to call it, oh, I got news for you guys. You're going to have to change something else. Speaker cables, amplifiers, preamplifiers, sources, something needs to change. As a matter of fact, this is a perfect segue into what I was going to tell you guys on today's video. I have had some conversations with a few of my subscribers who have been following me, who are very close to me, people who have upgraded because of my madness. I have encouraged them to upgrade. They all have upgraded to a better speaker or amplifier. And they're starting to see that as you go up the ladder, you face other challenges, other issues you may have never encountered before. I'm going to give you an example. One of my fellow subscribers upgraded to a speaker that will go nameless for now. Okay, he came from a speaker that was here and he moved up to a speaker that's up here. Now he's telling me he loved the speaker, okay, because of my recommendation, but he's having issues with a little too much bite, too much brightness. So I took a look at his system. He needed better cables. He needed to get rid of a entry-level Lumen streamer. He needed to get rid of a turntable that, although it was great when his system was up here, it now doesn't seem to just have perfect synergy with the new electronics, with the new speaker actually that he got. So my recommendation has been, you got to start switching this, you got to start switching that, and his system is starting to finally turn around and begin to sound better. I plan to have a couple of my subscribers at some point and do some sort of a Zoom call record it, and release it to you guys so you guys can see some of the challenges that regular everyday users face as they move up the ladder. It is so crucial and important that you guys understand, okay? When you change to a better speaker, you will have to get your game up elsewhere, everywhere else in your system. When your speakers do this, the rest of your system needs to do this. It will not be tolerated. It will not work. Okay, the cheapness that you have elsewhere in the system will not work. I promise you, you're going to be frustrated. You will be mad. You will question your decision of upgrading speakers. It is no reason for you guys to be upset or frustrated. It just happens. It happens to me. What you need to do is connect with someone who knows what they're doing, who has experience, who is doing the evaluations behind closed doors, and get his recommendation. Okay? Guys, stay tuned for more. I will keep you posted along the way. And pretty soon, I will unveil the new speaker. I hope you guys enjoy this because I promise you, I will work hard in the room to get the speaker dialed in. I'm not going to tap out. I'm not going to quit. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing. Stay tuned for more. Peace.